Welcome to the Checkered Shorts Podcast, a podcast of three fraternity brothers reconnected by their love of IndyCar. Join us for grid-rival IndyCar fantasy talk, predictions for upcoming races, and reactions to race day results and all things IndyCar. Let's go racing! Hey, welcome back, Checkered Shorts, episode number 37. And we're going to start off with our history lesson from Professor Dinwiddie. So what do we got for episode 37?
It's Indy 500 nerd time right here. So 37. That was a little tricky, but Arizona Larry Biseglia of Arizona was the first person in line to enter the speedway for the month of May for 37 straight years. From 1950. He would drive his van from Arizona to Indianapolis and would be the first person in the gate for 37 straight years. That, boys, is an accomplishment.
That sounds like he owns like a furniture company, like Larry Biseglia Furniture. Come on in, folks.
I want to know more about Larry Biseglia. I'll be honest with you. Also, 1937 was the last time the 500 was won by a native Hoosier. Wilbur Shaw in 1937. It's been almost 100 years since a Hoosier has won the 500. Maybe Connor can get it done next year.
Wow. That is the most obscure reference that I've heard thus far. And I like it because it's kind of a bit of a, homage to a fan.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool too, which really is what we are. We don't claim to be experts. We try to read up and learn and keep up with what's going on in IndyCar. We'd like to share it with you. But we're just fans. And so to hear about a guy with that kind of commitment as we get ready to load up and head to Iowa, as we get to load up and head to Milwaukee, maybe going the wrong direction, due north from us. And for me, traveling a couple of hours to pick these guys up with the camper, and then another 5 hours from Speedway on up to catch the race. So, it's kind of fun to hear about a fan that with that kind of commitment driving from Arizona to Speedway, Indiana.
Well, what do we got? 33 more years in Newton, Iowa, and we're going to be the Arizona Larry of Newton.
We're in jeopardy already. Not because of our willingness, it doesn't sound like. First, I think we have to thank our wives for letting us go to another race, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Happy Wives Day.
Marcy, Angie, and Jennifer, thank you if you're listening. But thanks for putting up with us, and thanks for letting us hang out for a weekend. It's too bad it's not a doubleheader. And I mean, I think out of anything that I'd ever want to be a doubleheader, it'd be this weekend.
But you know what? We're making it a doubleheader.
That's true.
I'm jumping ahead here, producer Keith, but we decided that the Brewers are in town, so we're going to hit a Brewers game on Saturday night and then hit the race on Sunday. So we're going to make a full weekend of it. It's going to be a great time.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, I'm excited. We drove down past the stadium last time we went up to Milwaukee, and we had an absolute blast. Kind of got lost going to the credential office. I think it's how we ended up near the stadium. But it's a unique style stadium. Yeah, it's a unique stadium. It's pretty interesting from the outside. The Brewers are right now on one heck of a run. I know they just dropped a game, but the vibe is going to be live in there, I think. If any, going to the secondhand markets to buy tickets like we did is any indication, it ought to be a nice, lively crowd for a Saturday night.
Bob Uecker Umbrella Night, is that right?
That's right.
Bob Uecker Umbrella Night. I mean, this is for you old heads. It's where Laverne and Shirley was staged, right?
That's right.
So, well, I know a little bit about Milwaukee, but now we're excited that the track itself is, they call it Milwaukee Mile. It is in the state fairgrounds of the Wisconsin State Fair. So it's kind of unique, and that's honestly why we kind of fell in love with it. It has its, not that every kiosk and food vendor is open, but the flowers were awesome. Like, they're ready for you just because it's the state fairgrounds.
And I think it's just a couple weeks after the state fair, like it was last year. So
yeah.
So super cool. It is the oldest. It's a 1 mile, but the oldest oval in America. In 1903, opened as a dirt track. So it's everybody, compares. A lot of people say IMS is an oval. That's yes, it's a circle, but when a true oval comes into play, it's a Kentucky. Who's St. Louis, Gateway, stuff like that. So that's kind of where in Nashville, stuff like that is kind of what we're deemed as an oval. So pretty cool history in the place. It's a lot flatter than most of these bankings that you'll see even in Nashville, Iowa. These things that are like this, it's a lot more level out. So it's unique in that aspect.
I would assume that being a dirt track, that's probably motorcycle racing in 1903.
You might be right. Well, and I mean that's probably why it's dirt track racing too. It's not as high banked and everything like that.
So how does that impact the racing? Obviously, I assume the banking will help you hold a higher speed, potentially in and out of the corners.
Yep.
You're going to probably see a little bit lower speed, top speed in that, but you're going to see more tire wear for sure because you don't have that banking to be able to use. So those tires are going to get chewed up, I would assume, sliding around that flat track.
And I think selfishly that's why we fell in love with it last year was we saw 2 races that were awesome. Yeah. The best racing I've seen maybe ever was those 2 Milwaukee races. So hopefully they don't change anything. That's why I want to see 2 races again. One's not going to be good enough, but it'll be a little bit slower, but that's okay. If they can do what they did last year, it'll be awesome.
And it's pretty wide too, if I remember right. There's room for 2 and 3 grooves in that. I remember specifically Connor Daly using that top groove last year and ran all the way up into I think a podium position, didn't he? Or really close.
I think he was 3rd in one of them for sure. So and all the guys like it. I remember Rossi just mentioned he's like, yeah, it's an older track and but it's still super fun for these guys to drive, which makes it better for us too to watch.
Yep. So just going back to last year, our trip up there, for those going for their first time, what is it that you love about Milwaukee? The race itself, the setup there, and or anything around the town?
A little bit of everything. We talked about the design of the track being a mile oval. It was really racy last year. It sits on the fairgrounds, so right behind the grandstand is the midway, and so a cool thing about that is there are several bars and restaurant establishments that are right there in that row. They opened up for race weekend, and so between the activities on the track, if you're there on Saturday, you can jump over and get a bite to eat or something to drink. The town itself, just a blue collar town, a lot of good people.
Yeah.
The campsites are right there near the track. Within, it's a really quick walk. We enjoyed our camping spot there last year. It's kind of a community atmosphere actually in that lot. We got to know some guys from up in northern Wisconsin.
Mickey, right? Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey.
We're right across the way. So we'll see if we can find them again this year. And and there's a couple adult establishments within walking distance of the lot as well. One
really close walking distance.
We enjoyed. So I'm sure we'll head back and check in with the staff there this year.
Jackie and the girls.
Yeah. I got introduced to the girls last year over at Liquid Johnny, so we're excited to be head back. It was a fun vibe in there for sure. It was a lot of fun laughs, a lot of cutting up, met some people from Chicago. Brian talked them into buying us a shot of Malort, which I would have paid Brian not to get us a shot of Malort. But I can say I've had it now. Not a beneficial experience, though, I would say. Stay away.
Well, and they hadn't. This is a kudos to IndyCar. They hadn't been there in a few years, probably more than a few years since last year. So, kind of we might need 1 or 2 races. All right, let's throw Milwaukee in. Fans, 1 showed out. 2, IndyCar. And I don't know who the title. I think Hy-Vee might have been somewhat of a sponsor, but
I think they were last year. Yep.
So they did. IndyCar, I think, did a good job of promoting it in a short term. But there were a lot of there. I mean, there was a lot of people there, a ton of people there.
Yeah, and in a small stage there on the fairgrounds, right behind the grandstands, we got to sit just to the side of the drummer to see Quiet Riot perform, which I think it was one member of Quiet Riot. But they still hammered out some of the hits, which I think we decided were about 2. But those 2 songs, we were having a hell of a time.
Yeah, and I think for those that are coming up there this year, if they're on Saturday evening, there's a local country band that's kind of top 40 hits that ought to be a good time. So check them out. It's a small little amphitheater that sits there behind the grandstand.
Yeah, you're right. Even if you don't want to be up close and center, go grab a beer in the backstretch, just listen to some music, and they definitely have some beer vendors just ready to serve some ice cold beers in the background.
Yeah, it is Wisconsin.
Yep. Well, they sold out last year, so hopefully they stocked up for the 2025 version.
Right about that. You're right. Well, who do we? I mean, it's another oval, right? So this is it's a little unique, like we mentioned. But who do we think might be able to bust one out here, or who are the hot shots? Who are the sleepers?
I mean, I feel like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen these last 2 races. I mean, Joseph Newgarden's got to try to redeem this season at some point, and he's been good on ovals. The last several races, you get the sense like he's not up to his standard, but it was an improvement on the first half of the season. I mean, he's finishing races and finishing them, gaining spots from qualifying. So if he qualifies well and he runs as well as he did at Iowa, those Iowa races, you look at them like he probably should have won those. Sure. And so I think in one of these next 2 races, I would not be surprised to see him return to the top of a podium.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it. Penske, you got to put those guys up there, even with the year they've had. I think all 3 Penske drivers are going to be solid this weekend and good choices. Pato was a winner last year, and he's been strong on ovals. He was right there in Iowa as well. So I think he's a good contender, especially when you're talking about favorites. I think somebody like Dixon, I think he finished second last year and even came way back, maybe even from a lap down to finish second. So that's a guy that's got some history there, just because he's old enough that he raced in it at that track, before.
In 1903 when it was dirt?
He may have. I'm going to be honest with you. He might be the inaugural winner of the Milwaukee Mile.
I'm still holding on for Newgarden to win one. Again, he's still, I've said it a million times, don't want to beat a dead horse, but he's still really capable of winning it. And especially these ovals, the odds are still, I think, in his favor of being, but it's just crap and everything else that happens. I'm still a betting man, and I probably would put my number on Newgarden again. At least for one of these rivals.
Is he on your Grid Rivals team, Pat?
Not yet, but I don't think I don't know this answer, but I don't know how good he is at Milwaukee compared to a Nashville. I think is more of his cup of tea compared to this flatter Milwaukee. So I'm looking for a Kirkwood to rebound. Kirkwood's had a shit second more than that of a season. Yeah, he won 2 or 3 races, right? But hadn't done anything since. I would love to see a VK or a Ferrucci kind of bounce back. Not that VK needs to really bounce back, but a Ferrucci's definitely been down kind of in the dumps here, but can still be a fast car, especially in these ovals. So that's kind of just, who I'm eyeing and more or less excited to see what they can do.
Talking about flat, we were talking about, because that flat track really lends itself to sliding around. And if you go back and watch last year's race, that was a lot of what Ferrucci did. Ferrucci was diving in and doing a slide job on drivers. So, and he had a successful race.
You almost want to be uncomfortable kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And you think about three guys I'll throw out that like being uncomfortable, that we normally don't think about: Ferrucci, Connor Daly, Christian Rasmussen. This is where Rasmussen started to build a name for himself last year. If you remember, he put Ray Hall on the wall. So, those are three guys that I think they've got nothing to lose, right? Like, all three of them are sitting outside the top 10 in points. They're looking to really shake things up. So they're going to be pretty aggressive, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. It'll be fun. But Rasmussen, I forgot about him. Yeah, there's some controversy. When you have a week off, people tend to forget. Apparently, Connor and Christian had like a cup of coffee in Carmel, Indiana at the Java House.
Wow.
So that was on Connor's podcast. Like, he announced it. So it's not like a rumor mill. So, here we go. We'll see.
They couldn't meet up at the local AM PM.
yeah. I'll leave put that in. What is that?
It's a gas. I think it's a gas station.
It's like a quick stop, or
I think they're out west, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've seen on his Instagram him run a few little promos for it.
Cool.
So,
yep. So I'm gonna sneak in there and say Kirkwood is a sleeper, my biggest sleeper.
I'll go with his teammate. I heard last year had a really strong finish at Milwaukee and then won Nashville. So don't count him out.
Yep.
If someone were to podium, that would be the biggest surprise. Who do you think it could be? Who do you think?
Jacob
Well, that'd be the longest odds.
Race.
Hey, with reasonable. Let's go.
Kevin Simpson. I'll throw that out there.
I'll throw out Nolan Siegel. If we know Pato's fast there, like it's a McLaren car.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's actually ran well a few times and then got lost or knocked out of a race here or there. So maybe if he can hang in for a full race and run as well as he did successfully in some of those early races, whenever they got the new strategist, and what kind of impact that could have over time.
Right.
I think this is one of those places, though, that, like, we mentioned they don't have much history there. So really the whole field is wide open. I mean, it could be anybody from, I mentioned BK earlier to Rossi. I mean, Rossi had a good run there last year. So, if he can turn that around in a Carpenter car, which we know those are fast on ovals.
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking about those $15,000 guys that I can pick up on the bottom end of my Grid Rivals roster.
Yeah, I mean,
it might pay off. For me, I'm looking at Isla maybe. I feel like he's been running well recently and appears to be gaining confidence. And the Prima team has, I think, overachieved, or at least surpassed everyone's expectation of year one. They've been more professional and more ready to go for their first year on the circuit than I think most people anticipated.
Sure.
If you can keep your nose clean and just run decent laps and then let it come down to the last 50 and see where everything's at. I mean,
there's a guy who's a pro at doing that.
Yeah, you're right.
So maybe he's a guy, but he costs more than $15,000. Steady Eddie, Marcus Armstrong.
That's right. 10 out of the last 11 top 10s. So it'll be awesome. Hopefully, I mean, for anybody that is listening and watching, come if you're close, come watch, man. It's the best racing I think of the season.
And the folks at Liquid Johnny's, just get ready for us. We're gonna come and be rowdy and have a little fun again, and hopefully get to run into Jackie and the girls. Take over the jukebox, Pat, once you get there.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We'll be ready to rock and roll. Got the griddle primed and ready, so we should be ready to go. I was at Live Golf here in northern Indianapolis in Westfield. I did get the chance to see Alex Pillow. I dabbed him up, said, "Hey, congrats." Saw Barry Wanzer.
Nice.
So it was cool. Everybody, like, there was probably like 5 or 6 dudes sitting around me. I'm like, "Yeah, it's Alex Pillow, like Indy 500 winner." They're like, "Who?" I'm like, "Come on, like seriously."
He did a little promo for Live. I don't know if you saw it. I watched a little bit of the broadcast, and as the broadcast came on, it was Pillow talking about winning the 500, and then
really? Okay,
and then the connection over to Live. So
cool.
He came off slightly better than a robot in the promo, so he's getting there. So, man, if he could start to get a little bit of charisma, he could really be the guy that helps to sell the sport, because he's got the juice and the skill for sure. But man, there's just something about him that's just really, I don't know. Like you said, maybe he's growing into it. Maybe it's the language barrier to start and some other things, but he's starting to grow into it a little bit.
But then again, maybe that's what makes him so great, is that his whole focus is racing an IndyCar, And
I mean, you have 2 million fans in the world, sort of thing. Like that's, to me, that's the issue. And Pato's got a great following because of his ethnicity and the culture that just is proud to be a Mexican. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of it. All those Spaniards.
Well, it's a North American series, so also Spain, the home country of Pillow, probably doesn't get a ton of IndyCar following. Right. A NASCAR and IndyCar, which hopefully IndyCar follows suit and heads down to Mexico City, I think can kind of catch fire down there, especially with a star like Pato. I don't know. I think there are guys that need to step out and help us sell the sport, because
I agree.
It's a great. I mean, like we've said it over and over again. It's a great family atmosphere. It's not a bunch of controversy with these guys. Sometimes they get mixed up with each other a little bit, but ultimately, it's like a bunch of really dedicated professionals going out there, taking their craft very seriously, take time for the fans. And so I, as a new spectator and fan of IndyCar, I'm not sure why it takes so long or why it's falls behind some of the other motorsports, because to me, it's good. It's great entertainment.
Oh, I mean, 100%. We were texting last night. I totally agree. And you see the Bass Pro Shops, Austin Dillon win last night. But, I mean, they're maxing out at 130 mile an hour Richmond. Like,
was that 130? Because it looked like 65.
I mean, he hit. I watched this. He hit like for a second 130. So, but they're, hitting 110 maybe. So, to Keith's point, this is the best racing, and just you got to get people to watch it. But the Bass Pro Shop and whoever, like, you have DHL. Like, nobody cares about DHL. You know what I mean?
Well, it's the B2B sponsorships versus the business to consumer sponsorships, and that's what IndyCar needs to get back to.
And we have Pillow, his marketing person, would get paid $100,000 more or whatever. Be like, hey, Alex, you got to do this. It's just, unfortunately, just sucks that we don't have that many fans.
Well, and I guess it's because it's North American, but like F1 has such a big following, but there's also a lot of deep pockets, and I feel like IndyCar has. I mean, this sounds kind of crazy with Pillow running away with things, but the parity is a little greater within IndyCar, and you see guys work their way up Sometimes it's because they got the money to back them, but a lot of times they work themselves up through a system, and you see some real meritocracy happening for some guys that don't just have the ability to come and write a check and say, put me in the seat of this car. And so I just feel like for North Americans, it would be more for those North American fans, they're F1 fans. Why you want to be a fan of IndyCar is beyond me.
100%. Totally agree. Give it a shot.
Yeah. Brian, you looking something up? I see you reading.
No, I'm not. I'm just thinking. I just tried to figure out the kind of the premise you were throwing out there, and I was thinking about kind of the loyalty that's been there in NASCAR for a long time to drivers or sponsors. You mentioned Bass Pro Shops. It's because the F1 side, and like it really, when you look at those fans, they're not as much wearing a Lando Norris or a Max Verstappen jersey as they're wearing, a Ferrari, a McLaren, a Porsche. Like it's the manufacturer. And I wonder sometimes if IndyCar needs to sell the Chevy versus Honda thing a little bit stronger, or a third manufacturer coming in. I think on the NASCAR side, my dad always talks about that. If you were a Dale Earnhardt fan, you didn't drive a Ford, you drove a Chevy. Right. And anybody who drove a Ford, like, you gave them hell because Dale drove a Chevy, and so I'm going to buy Chevys. So maybe IndyCar needs to lean into that a little bit.
And I mean, we could go on and on. I think this is an awesome conversation because it needs to be discussed more. But the Fox will help in moving forward. And I mean, obviously, Pelot's taken off on it, but that's okay still. I mean, there's still really good racing with him already winning the championship. Yeah. And that's more to come. But I think Fox and things are heading in the right direction.
Oh, we need the new car, too. Hard to beat Pelot, but when the new car comes in, we've seen what that's done in F1. We saw what that did in NASCAR when the car tomorrow came in. That new car and everything I'm hearing about that sounds amazing. The design of it looks like it's revolutionary, and love to start seeing some. Wish somebody would sneak something out of there so we could see what this thing's going to look like. But hopefully that mixes things up.
Great point.
I mean, to your point about business to consumer sponsorships, I was brokenhearted when Jacob Abel didn't make the field for the Indy 500, and it had nothing to do with Jacob Abel.
No,
I wanted to see that Miller High Life car.
I would have drank a million of them that day.
Yeah.
Like out of pure just being a beer drinker, I would have drank Miller High Life all week.
And every time he went around the track, you saluted.
Yes, man. I would have thrown them at him. Like, holy moly. Like, in all honesty, like those Bass Pro Shops, those whatever cars they have, those are sweet looking cars, man. And then you have a
better than Clarience or
Gallagher. I don't know what it is.
For those companies for being sponsors, but we're not getting to the everyday consumer.
No, right. So anyway, no tangent. Sorry, folks.
It's leaving on a high note. We are thrilled to be packing up, heading up north.
Jackie.
Yeah, I'm just the schedule, the way it's laid out this year, it's been really exciting. Like these trips have fallen just perfect. It's like, man, everyone has their own stresses in life, and it's like, hey, you get to go blow off some steam and watch a race, and all you got to think about is cars going around track, and that's a lot of fun. So I'm thrilled.
2 hours away,
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully we get to run into some folks up there that are also having a great time.
Yep.
See a couple home runs while we're at, I call it Miller Field. I don't think it's Miller
Section
Field
104,
anymore, but
Section 104, Road 2, we're in right field.
Yeah.
Right
if
above
you're there, you'll know us. I'm sure you know who we are.
Right above I think it's the Giants bullpen. I think that's who we play. So, should be a good one.
All right, so we'll catch back up to you with, I'm sure, a lot of stories to share after the Milwaukee race. So thanks for tuning in to Checkered Shorts.
See y'all.
Y'all.